Hi, I'm Dark Shades and I hail from the east of England. Welcome to my channel. If it's the first time you're passing through, you can put the thumbs up if what I'm talking about resonates with you. You can put the thumbs down if it doesn't meet your expectations. You can share with friends and colleagues if you think it will help them. And you can subscribe by pressing the bell icon. So what we're talking about today, we're talking about those of us who feel as though pleasing others is the right thing to do. And we find that we get so resentful and frustrated when what we've done to please them isn't appreciated. Now they say you can please some people some of the time, but you can't please everyone all of the time. And you can't please anyone unless you've pleased yourself. And how do you please yourself? What is important to you? There's a difference between sacrifice and compromise. Some people sacrifice what they love to do in order to please someone else. Others compromise and you have a kind of balance so that each person is benefiting. Now, when you do something to please someone else, it means that you are losing yourself. You are putting yourself on hold. And a lot of us do that. And I'm going to give you a very simple example. I love watching Love Island. And there's a few programs I really love to watch. And sometimes, as soon as it starts, I get a phone call. And I'm in that dilemma where do I answer the phone call because the show is recording? Or do I speak to the person and tell them that I'm watching a show? But when I feel as though I'm going to do that, it makes me think that they're going to say that the show is more important than them. And then that makes me feel guilty. That makes me think that what I'm watching doesn't have any value. And they'll make me feel as though what I'm watching doesn't have any value by virtue of them saying, oh, you're watching that. Don't you want to talk to me? Oh, I really had something important to tell you. And then you go through this whole guilt trip. What you can do, you cannot answer the phone at all. And then are you really concentrating on the program that you want to watch? Why is this program important? Thing with me, I tend to work 24/7, really. My mind is always on the alert. If I'm watching a particular program, it's usually because I feel I might be able to learn something that I might be able to benefit. My subscribers might benefit from, because we all have different opinions. We all see things in different ways. And sometimes when I'm watching something, it's really because I want to pick up on innuendos and traits and things like that. And so for me, it's like I'm working. Somebody else might view me as watching TV and not really wasting time, but they might think it's a waste of time. And they might not understand why watching a particular program is more important than talking to them. And so I'm in the dilemma of, do I talk to that person or do I watch the program that really needs my concentration and what I really need to enjoy? And it's a dilemma that we all face. It's something that's very, very simple, but you go through so many emotions. How important are you? How important is it what you want to do? Are you being selfish? Are you going to feel guilty? Is it okay to watch it later and give this person the time? Then you start thinking, supposing what they want to say, if you ignore them, you spend watching the show thinking, I wonder if what they wanted to say was important. And then you can't even enjoy the show anyway. Probably best just to put your phone on Do Not Disturb if you want to do something and you want to concentrate on something. Because once you leave yourself open to forces coming in, you can't really get away from it. And then you're open to all kinds of emotions. And that's just a small example. We also have people who just call you out of the blue and, oh, I want to see you. And can you come over? And you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, I was going to have some time to myself. I just wanted to cook the dinner, tidy up. Maybe you wanted to read a magazine, read a book but you wanted to give yourself some time. Now you've got somebody saying to you, oh, will you come over? The place isn't convenient, the time isn't convenient, and your first instinct is to make an excuse. And you might even say, oh, well, I was doing something. So what are you doing? And then you start questioning how important it is what you're doing. So reading a book, watching TV, putting your feet up, is that important? Because that's how some people make you feel. So then you're thinking, oh, can I just tell them I'm just reading a book? Or I just want to chill. I just want to have a bath and relax. Then you start thinking, then you start making up things that you're doing that's a bit more, that sounds a bit more important. Maybe it's, oh, I'm just putting the shopping, oh, I'm just shopping online. Whatever it is, it's almost like giving yourself quality time is not important. And so therefore, when they're saying to you, so what are you doing then? If you was to say, oh, I'm reading a book, they're like, their translation is, oh, so reading a book is more important than me. And then you end up feeling guilty because you want to read a book rather than spend time with them. But what happens is, if you don't do what you wanted to do, you end up going to see that person. And that person might be on the phone all the time. They might be talking to friends. They might say, oh, I'm just going to pop up the road and get us a bottle of wine. And they're gone for like half an hour or an hour. And you're sitting there thinking, I could have been doing what I wanted to do. You need to set your boundaries, whether it's switching off your phone, whether it's being firm and saying, now is not a convenient time, I've got things to do. You don't have to tell them what you're doing. I've got some important things to do. That's all you need to say. They don't need to know the ins and outs, because what you deem important, they may not deem important. So you need to kind of please yourself first. And that is why they say, until you love yourself or until you please yourself, you can't please anyone else. Because what happens is, like I say, you don't please yourself. You sacrifice what you want to do for someone else. And then when you go and spend time with them, they're not sacrificing. They're not even compromising. They're being totally selfish. And then you end up feeling resentful, frustrated, angry. Oh, you asked me to come over here and look what you're doing. You're not even paying me any attention. You're doing this, you're doing that. Whereas if you had done what you wanted to do, you could have gone over there, and whether they're mucking around or whatever, you're just chilled. You put your feet up. You've got something, you do something on your phone. You make sure you take a book, take something with you that can absorb that time so you don't get stressed. If they're not giving you the time when you want, if they don't meet your expectations, I should say. And a lot of people won't meet your expectations. That is why you have to meet your own expectations. Do what you need to do for yourself first, and then you can offer up yourself to help someone else. And you don't even business about what they're doing or how they're doing it. And that's what will rile them up. Sometimes people do this to test you, Sometimes people will be deliberately impose on you just to test you. And then, so when you go over there and you're chilled and they're not paying you any attention and you're not reacting, they're like, hey, what's going on here? Sometimes people know you're watching a program at a particular time and they will deliberately call you when that program starts. And they'll know it will put you in conflict. Do I watch the program? Do I answer the phone? And then the weird thing is that if you do decide to watch the program, like I said before, and you wait till that program's finished and then you call them, guaranteed they either do not pick up the phone, or they'll say to you, oh, so you was watching that program, that stupid program, and they'll find all kind of faults with it because you were not able to give your time to them. I tell you something, it's not easy to please yourself. It's not easy. You have to look for a compromise. And what I tend to do is I tend to kind of think about all the things that I do, and I try to think how much percentage of time am I giving to myself. Even if it's 100%, that's fine. But sometimes I have to question myself. Am I being unreasonable? But I do make sure that when I do spend quality time with my partner, I do not have my phone on, and he doesn't have his phone on. And that nobody has said, I haven't said to him about his phone. He hasn't mentioned to me about my phone, and we have a common understanding. We just spend time, whether it's watching TV, going for a walk, going for a meal, whatever it is. And that is, that is the quality time we spend. And that is, so that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter whether it's 10% of quality time or 50% of quality time, as long as you each value the time that you spend together and you haven't made too many sacrifices in order to do that. Okay? It's mentally draining. Some people can never be pleased, like I said. You've got some people like narcissists. Whenever I'm talking about these, when I ever talk in these videos, I always mention narcissists because they're a totally different kettle of fish. They will go out of their way to make you feel guilty if you don't please them. They will chastise you. They will antagonize you. They will grey rock you. They will stonewall you. They will do everything to try and rile you up and get you and take away your peace, take away your joy, take you away from yourself. That is their goal, to take you away from yourself, and then they take you over. And you end up trying to please them, and they cannot be pleased because that is their intention, to deliberately make everything difficult for you. So you can't please them. No matter what you do, they'll criticize it. So when I'm talking about pleasing yourself versus pleasing others, narcissists are a totally different ballgame. So I'm talking about this in relation to healthy relationships, whether they're working relationships or whether they're romantic relationships. Okay. Yeah, we have to remember there are a lot of angry people, frustrated, resentful people around. No matter what you do for them, they'll never be happy. So don't waste your energy, don't waste your time on people like those. And don't lose sight of your own goals and purposes. You know what you want to do. And like I said, sometimes I do feel guilty because I spend a lot of time on myself. I really do, because I love doing what I do. And I used to think that I was doing everything I needed to do because it was filling a hole. And I thought that, if I had a fella, things would be different. But I find this is me. This is me. I actually enjoy doing what I do and spending all this time doing what I do, even if I'm on my own. And so I need somebody in my life who understands that and who doesn't feel as though I am neglecting them when I can't spend time. And so that is really important. So we have to make sure we're being reasonable. And I'm quite self-reflective. And I kind of never say, I'm not going to say I say no. What I do say is, okay, I'll be finished around 9 o'clock. You're welcome to call me after 9. No, but Love Island starts at 9. And that pushes it back till 10 o'clock. I mean, no wonder I feel bloody guilty. And the thing is, Love Island's on every night. What is a girl to do? But if you've got somebody who's compatible, they can watch Love Island with you. They can have their comments. I can have my comments, and it makes a great video. So that is my goal. When I watch things like Love Island, it is really to watch the dynamics, to see whether or not, how their behavior how it resonates with our behavior, and how I can actually share that with my subscribers. So I always think of everything I'm doing is about work, whether I'm talking to friends, whether I'm talking to relatives, whether I'm at work. I see everything as a new experience, everything that's something I can learn from. And if I can learn from it, someone else can learn from it. And so I do hope that in pleasing myself, I am pleasing others. And that's all I've got to say for now. Bye-bye.